Hi, I'm PJ from TreeLineUSA.com. Welcome to wood burning. Today I'm excited to teach you a little bit about some of the basics of wood burning and which tips to get when you first get started. Right now there's over 250 different styles of pens available, but let's help narrow that down and show you just what you need to get started. Here we're demonstrating the Razor Tip wood burner. Razor Tip right now makes over 250 different pens, and there's a use for every one of these, but some of these are definitely more useful and maybe more dynamic than some of the others. But as you can see here, we've got different knife edges and spoon shaders, flat shaders. We've even got the specialty type, one that you can make your own tip. We even have like the ball tips, the transfer pens. Anyway, there's a lot of different pens available, but really when it boils down to it, there's three different styles. And the three styles would be, the first one would be a skew pen, which is designed to be very sharp, both on the edge and also in the point, and a tip like this is used to get your really crisp, sharp edges and lines that are straight or semi-curved, so you can use that for hair, feathers, and fur. Then the next style would be like a writing pen, something like this ballpoint tip. This is the 1.5mm ball pen, and these are great, and I'll show you in a minute just how nice they glide over the surface. And then the third pen would be something to shade with, and of course there's several different styles there. This is the bent spear shader. They also have like a spoon shader, which gives you kind of a cup shape that you can shade with. So anyway, let's get started. Let me show you some of these. So I've got the Razor Tip single burner here, and depending on how much how much metal is up in the tip will determine how hot you might need to set this. Usually for the large skew, you can set it somewhere between a 5 and a 6 and get a pretty effective burn. Now, generally speaking, we want to tell people that if it's smoking a lot, usually you have it a little bit too hot, because you can turn this thing right up and make it glow, but usually when it's glowing that red, it's hard to control. So usually keep that turned down to read about a 5 and a 6. So with the skew, as I mentioned before, is great for doing the thin, crisp lines. If you notice this right here, you can do this for doing hair textures, and if you're doing some fur textures or feather textures, notice how fine you can get. So a lot of people carving birds or decoys will love using the skew like this to get in and put in that really fine detail that you just can't quite carve in as fine. But notice if I'm doing curved lines, I'm twisting the pen around. So I'm twisting it and always leading by this sharp edge right here. Because if I cut into it, the tip of it and the edge is buried in the wood, and it's hard to pull it to the side without bending that tip over. So normally you want to lead by that sharp edge. You can turn it over and do a little bit of fine stippling with it too, if you wanted to. But that's how you use the skew pens. Now you can use a skew or a spear a lot the same way, but that's generally how you use those. So let's now take that and let's switch over to a ball pen. The ball pen, again, we're going to probably turn this up just a little bit to maybe about a 6. But as you can see on a ball pen, with a rounded shape like that keeps it from sinking down into the wood, and it stays more up on the surface. So that allows you to glide over the surface without it catching or wandering away. So you can use that for doing curved lines. You can use that for doing a little bit of shading if you wanted to. You can use it for drawing or writing. And then notice just how nice that glides over the surface without catching or grabbing. You can use it for like a stippling type technique, putting like lots of little dots in it. And of these ball tips, there's a lot of different sizes. You can vary the sizes of those tips. But the ball tip works a lot like a regular pen or pencil, just gliding over the surface. You can use that for curved lines, writing, and things like that. So now let's switch over to the third basic style, which would be a shading pen. Now usually the shaders are built in the heavy duty style because they're using those in normally hotter temperatures for longer periods of time. So I'm going to turn that up to between about a 6 and a 7. But notice that flat side. That flat side right there allows you to shade in a broad area much quicker. So the skew, as you can see, left us a nice crisp clean line. The ball was kind of a little more blunt. But with the shading pen, you can get in there and notice how you can kind of blend that. So I kind of treat this like a paintbrush. So you can get in there and shade in an area like that where you want to make subtle changes to the tone of the wood like that. But notice how you can kind of shade in a broader area like this. So anyway, so usually if you can pick up a skew, ball tip, and some kind of shading pen, usually you kind of have the basics covered. Then a lot of the other pens from there are a variation of those three, bigger or smaller from there. And then you can get some of these shading tips too with like a point or rounded like this. Anyway, so those are the basic tips right there. Thank you for taking time watching this video. We hope it's been helpful. Wood burning is a ton of fun, and there's so many things you can do with just a few pens. So get started today. Visit us at treelineusa.com to pick up your pens and wood burning supplies. And for more information or more videos like this, click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching.